You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Sometimes you're better off being good, and sometimes you're better off being lucky. Go Time Dolphins has you covered for all of your Miami Dolphins bets this season. From player prop bets to season-long parlays, the duo discuss what bets you might want to take a closer look at and what bets you might want to stay away from. With the NFL regular season inching closer, make sure the odds are in your favour so you can cash your tickets in, the same time Miami cashes their tickets in. Fins up, Fin fans. Now back to Charlie and Kadeem.
I'm sure everyone is here today, to hear us talk about the latest day in training camp. The Miami Dolphins quarterback threw 6 interceptions, 2 threw 3 of them, and the moment that happened, media, Tua's had a bad day, 2 or 3 interception, is he the answer? And everyone's just like, okay, you've got out your system now. This is what you wanted all off season. But we're not here to discuss that today. We are here to discuss something completely different, something a bit more fun. No, we didn't, bring this up because we had a bad day at camp. This was already, planned. We discussed it in the last episode. So before we introduce our guest, massive shout out to 5 Yard Lee from Dolphin UK for, setting this up. We generally can't thank 5 Yard Lee enough for everything he does behind the scenes. And Mr. Charlie Touche, how are you?
I'm cooling, man. I'm cooling. It was a lot of stuff in camp today too. It was Trent Sherfield went off. Didn't Trent Sherfield have the orange jersey today?
He did, yes.
Man, listen, I wish this was one of those episodes we could talk about what happened in camp, but we had a scheduled episode. Something that we don't do is schedule stuff and then say, okay, this is what we're talking about today. We usually just let it fly. But this one was in the making, and this is the easy money episode. So everyone interested in what bets to make, what bets not to make, everyone driving to work like, man, I did want to get in on some action. This is that episode. So camp notes, we're gonna have to come back to that, and we're gonna talk about betting today. And we're gonna bring in a guest. Shout out to 5 Yard Lee for putting us together with this guest. And y'all know what time it is. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. So we're about to bring into the guest into the show today, man. And since we're talking about making easy money and a betting episode and what bets to make and what bets not to make, why not go to someone who works at DraftKings? So Jason from DraftKings, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing very well, guys. How about you? You good?
Cooling, man. Appreciate you coming on, man. So what is it that you do? Introduce yourself. Like, where can people find you? What is it that you do for DraftKings?
So I'm a senior trader at DraftKings. Main job is pricing the NFL market. So any markets you see on DraftKings outside of the regular week-to-week games, all the futures, Super Bowl, division winners, all the specials we've got, regular season wins, make the playoffs. It's my job to price all those and make sure they're priced correctly. So it's quite a good job. I'm a big NFL fan, obviously, so I love my work. And I love pricing up Dolphin stuff more than anything. So that's just pretty much me.
That's what's up. So you're a Dolphin fan as well? How does that work?
I am indeed, yeah. Your boy 5 Yard Lee, knew him before I even started liking NFL, and he got me into it. Went to a London game with him against the Jets, and since then I've been hooked. And then I was always in betting, I was always in bookmaking, and then I transitioned to DraftKings to get into the NFL side of it. So it's all worked out well.
That is crazy. So not only did we get a DraftKings specialist, we got a Dolphin fan on the Dolphin podcast from across the pond, because that's how we have to do it to tie it all together, right? So, man, hey, before we talk about player futures and team specials and team futures and player totals and all that other good stuff, there's a ticker across the screen right now for the audio listeners. Y'all know we always going to tell you this. Check us out on YouTube at Go Time Dolphins. And when you get there, please like and subscribe. You feel me? But right now, what's across the ticker, and I feel like this has to be addressed. You know what I'm saying? Gambling is a real thing. And not only is it a real thing, it can be an addiction. And it is an addiction to a lot of us, right? So there's help hotlines scrolling across the bottom of the screen. We got the US number and we have the UK number. And this is all jokes aside, right? And I told everybody this before, and I can talk about this 100% without nothing attached. So I used to have a gambling problem. I was younger. My first time going to Vegas, they're like, yeah, man. No, I was in North Dakota. They're like, yeah, man, you should go to Vegas. You're pretty good at this football thing. So I'm like, all right, I'll go to Vegas. True story. Before we get into that story, so I went to Vegas, ended up going to Vegas over 13 times in 12 months. Like it was, and I say over 13 times because I lost count after 13, right? So it was bad for me. I was like, man, this thing consumed my life. So yeah, man, it is real. Addiction can kick in. So we got the help hotlines on the bottom of the screen. And bet in moderation, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, bet in moderation. So I got on the wagon for a little bit. I'm like, you know what? Got older, grew up, got my life together, and I was like, man, let me put my foot in the water again, see what happens. And you know, it just comes with maturity, like everything else. Like I'm pretty sure we've all had relationships when we were teenagers with the significant other, and then you learn things as you grow up. And I've learned a lot of things as I've grown up, and it shows in my extracurricular gambling life now. Just a very mature better now. Kadeem, you ever dabble into the betting world?
Yeah, I haven't placed a bet in about 4 or 5 years, I guess. I have quite an addictive personality, so I have a feeling that if I started betting, I kind of like, always chase that. If I'm up, I'd want to be up even more. If I'm down, then I would, try and get back up. So I don't bet because I don't really want to, fall down that rabbit hole. Plus, I don't like losing money. Like gambling is something which, I have no control over it. I could bet on, I don't know, Jayden Waddle to score 2 touchdowns in a game, and he scores 1, in the first minute of the game. And then the rest of the game, he has like a 99-yard, a 99-yard screen from the 1-yard line because the Dolphins want to do that. And he gets tackled at the 1. I'll be like, you're taking the mick. Like, I can't control that. So, no, I don't bet because I don't have to hate someone for the rest of my life because something stupid like that happens. So I just don't do it.
Good. See, that's everybody, for someone who doesn't gamble, you just spoke like a true gambler just now. That is the realest thing, man. Jason, before you went to DraftKings, what how did you end? I don't want to be too personal, but how did you end up at DraftKings?
So we'll go back right to the beginning. My whole family's always been in betting. My dad got me into betting from a young age on very English horse racing and stuff like that, dog racing. And then I played soccer as a kid, so I was always into soccer. And when I turned sort of 16, started doing my parlays every week on the soccer. And as I say, it's just something I grew up with, and I've always been good at maths. Did well in GCSE, went to college, got my A-levels, and I didn't really know what to do. I had a string of jobs. Was always betting sort of recreationally, and I'm not ashamed to say that, as we all do when we're young, you go broke, you lose your money, you go again, you go broke again. And then I got into a company called Star Sports, an English bookmaker, and it really teaches you about the fundamentals of betting, and you start to understand not only how to win, but why bookmakers win. And then that really, as you said, with age comes maturity, and that translates into betting. And DraftKings actually bought a company in the UK, and someone I know very well who's a very good judge on NFL. He's made a lot of money betting NFL. He got hired as the trading director of DraftKings for US sports, and he's from England as well. So he basically got given permission to start a team, because obviously in America, sports betting outside of Vegas has obviously only been in a few years or a couple of years since the legislation will change. But in the UK, it's been going for so long, and there's so many clever people that they wanted a team in the UK, a team of traders in the UK, to educate the traders that are just starting up in America. I mean, our head office is in Vegas, and I mean, I'm going out there next month to do some training with the guys out there. So it's just sort of been a progression. But I mean, I'm finally where I want to be. NFL is what I want to do. And I said, I bet myself. I enjoy bookmaking. I enjoy making markets. And it's a good test because you get lots of people, lots of syndicates that try and beat you, basically. So it's a war of attrition, and I love it.
Man, I love this podcast, bro. Because you just get so many vantage points and so much perspective. It's not just one or two people chopping it up and just talking only football. It's football. It's your team. It's how you got there, where you expect to go, where you came from. I love this podcast. I love you, bro. I love you, Kadeem. Hey, Jason, I love you too. You know what I'm saying? But you know, Kadeem, the homie. All right, look, we about to get into this. And before we get into what best to take and what best not to take, if you listen to this podcast, you heard me tell this story before. I'm gonna tell it the shortened version of this story real quick. All right. So when I was in middle school, for everyone in the UK, middle school is what? Primary school?
No, I believe how old was you in middle school?
Oh, you know what? I was high school. I wasn't high school though. Y'all got high school? I thought y'all got primary and then
primary, secondary, but so I went to a school called Oaks Park High School. Mm-hmm. So it's called Oaks Park High School, but it's a secondary school. The whole thing is just
cool. So secondary school. I was in secondary school. I was in high school at the time. I was about 16 years old, and it was like summer school. All right. So the teacher just came back from Vegas, and he has his feet up on the desk, and he's just vibing, cooling. No one's doing nothing in the class. It's summer school. It's really like a summer camp. No one's doing no work, where everyone's talking to each other. And the teacher says this is a true story. He says, oh yeah, I just came back from Vegas. 16-year-olds talking to the teacher, and he's just talking to us. And he said, yeah, I just came back from Vegas. And everybody, oh, what was Vegas like? Whatever. And there's so many side conversations going on. And I'm not talking to no one. I'm just listening to the teacher from a distance, right? I was just chilling. I was just listening to him. And he's like, yeah, I just came back from Vegas and da. Oh, I had fun, whatever. We 16 years old-ish. And he says, yeah, have fun. But if there's anything you learn in this class, in this summer school, remember that I told you this. This is what he said. Only bring the money that you're willing to lose. That's what he said. When you go to Vegas, only bring the money that you're willing to lose. So if you set aside a budget for yourself and you say, hey, I'm going to Vegas and I'm only bringing $2,000 with me. If you lose that money, that's the money you lost. Cool. You set it aside. That's your vacation money. You had a good time and you lost it. Cool. That's cool. Just leave it there. Whatever money you come back with from that 2,000, that's the money you won. Hey, you were already counting on losing this money anyway, but you came back with something, so you're up. Whatever you came back with, that's what you're up. That's what he told me. Or that's what he told the whole class, and that's what I took. So I didn't really understand what that meant, right? I heard him, but I didn't really understand it. So here I am. I'm about 23 years old, 24 years old at the time. And I go to North Dakota, and we're doing these little football pools at work. It's probably, I don't know, 20, 30 people in this pool, and everybody shoots a dub, $20. That's what a dub is for my Englanders out there. So $20, right? 20 quid, right? That's
20 quid, yeah.
20 quid. Hey, so it's 20 quid. And I keep winning these pools. So everybody's kind of mad at me like for winning. I'm like, hey, what you want me to do? It's easy money. Easy money. So they said, hey, so a couple of my friends like, bro, you should go to Vegas. I like, what am I'm gonna do in Vegas? He like, you could bet on football. So I didn't know you could bet on football. I just thought Vegas was card games and dice and stuff like that, right? So I'm like, all right, well, let's see what this Vegas life is about. So I look up some flights, and where I was in the country, it was like these exclusive type of Vegas vacation trips where it was only $150 round trip type thing, $80 one way. I'm like, nah. So here I am working 72 hours a week, and on my one off day, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Vegas and bet on some football games. So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I actually work it out to where this was the first weekend I had off on that assignment. And everyone who listens to this podcast, you guys know I work 72 hours a week, 84 hours a week. So that's like 6 12s or 7 12s. So when I heard about this Vegas thing, I'm like, well, I could kind of double what I'm making at work. So let me take a weekend off for the first time I'll go to Vegas. And remember what my teacher in summer school said 10 years prior: only bring the money you're willing to spend. So I bring $2,500. I'm like, all right, that sounds like a good amount. I paid for the hotel. I didn't know how I was going to get to the hotel. They're like, yo, just take the shuttle. You could take a shuttle. So I'm all the old heads at work telling me how to do it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna take the shuttle. I get off at the airport. I never had a problem traveling because I travel for work all the time. So traveling wasn't a thing. It wasn't like the world was too big for me. But I never been to Vegas. So here I am. I get off the plane at Vegas, get my bag. I'm here for a couple days before that happened, but we'll get there. So I get this shuttle, and you pay for the shuttle round trip. So you pay for your shuttle to the hotel, and you pay for the shuttle back. Cool. Before I tell you what happened on the way to the shuttle and everything in the hotel, I'm on the plane. I'm flying to Vegas. All right. And I'm sitting next to these two guys. They're about 8 years older than me at the time. Younger dudes, but very cool dudes. Turns out one was a doctor, and he was like the team physician for like one of the Canadian football teams. Something like that, right? So me and him were talking, and he's like, what do you do? And I ain't gonna lie to y'all boys. I lied. I said, oh, I gamble for a living. I'm young. I lied about it, whatever. And he's like, oh, for real? That's awesome, man. Who you like this week? And I told him the teams that I like this week. And he says, oh, the Cowboys are going to win. I said, nah, the Cowboys are actually going to lose. They play the Eagles. And he was like, nah, bro. I'm telling you, bro, this is what I do for a living. Still lied about it, but I knew the Cowboys was going to lose for sure. So he says, you want to bet? Duh. Let's do it. So I bet him $400 on the flight to Vegas. Bet this guy. So the way this trip works is, remember, it's like a vacation trip type thing. So everyone that's on the plane, it's a round trip. We're all going to be on the same plane on the way back, unless who knows, Vegas. You have a Vegas story and you miss your flight. So I bet this guy $400 on the Cowboys game. So I'm like, well, I got to put $400 on the side. So I'm only betting $2,100. All right. I'm not going to bet this guy's money. And then that's not cool. Don't want to do that. So I get to Vegas. Now I get the shuttle. Now I get the hotel. I ain't going to lie. I'm super tired. Because, I work 72 hours a week. I work night shift. I got off of work, went to the airport, and then flew over. So I take this flight. And I'm like, man, tired. I didn't even do none of the bets. I just went to sleep. And I woke up, and now when I wake up with a fresh mind, I'll figure out how to crack the code, right? Because, I'm out here. I thought I knew it all. So I go downstairs. I'm up. I got my 2,100. I still got 25 on me, but I take the 21 downstairs. I'm like, look, it's only Saturday. I can make this money in the college football games and double it by the time the Sunday games come up. That way, I have more money to bet on NFL. So I'm like, cool, let's figure out how to do this. First time in Vegas, Parlays Central. Let's do it. So I put all these 18 parlays, and I didn't even know what a teaser was. All right. I'm doing all kind of dumb bets, sucker bets. All right. Long story short, I blow everything. no money left, right? So Sunday doesn't even come. I'm like, yo, I got this dude's $400. I could try to win some of the money back. No deal, fellas. I blew that too. So I blew it so bad. I didn't have any money for Sunday, and I barely had like enough money to eat for the rest of the days I was there. And it was only like 2 or 3 days. So in my head, I'm thinking I might as well blow the rest of this money and call somebody for help so I could complete the whole story. Like, yo, I blew it all, right? But I didn't. I saved like enough, like probably like $80 to eat for the rest of the weekend. And I flew home and I didn't get to bet on the Sunday games. So I text this doctor that I'm supposed to see at the airport, and this is before Sunday. And I say, hey, bro. He's like, hey, what are you doing? No, it's almost like I can hear him in the club via text message. And I was like, hey, bro, how you doing? He's like, hey, bro, we're at this club. You should come see us. We're in VIP. That's how I read the text, because that's how he said it, but that's how I read it. I was like, nah, man, I'm kind of tired. I'm not going to come out. He said, are you sure, bro? You could come hang with us. I'm like, nah, man, I'm cool. I was just going to tell you, I really like, you know what I'm saying? Because I actually talked to him about some other stuff on the plane. I'm like, man, I kind of like the vibe that we got. I don't want to take your money, is what I tell him. He said, but the Cowboys are going to win, so you're not really going to take my money. I said, nah, bro, I'm going to take your money. Cowboys ain't going to win. He said, all right, no bet, bro. Cool. I'll see you on the plane. All right, cool. So I kind of got off the hook. I didn't have his money to pay him. Cowboys end up losing, of course, right? I could have won that 400, but whatever. That's not how you do it. So long story short, I blew everything, Kadeem. Every single thing there was. Every dollar that I brought to Vegas, I blew it, Holmes. That was my first ever Vegas story, and that's how I got hooked to Vegas. What you got, Kadeem?
Nothing much more to add. Jason, what do you make of the story?
Yeah, it's good. I like it. I like stories like that. A good lesson. But I mean, we've all, as I said, any better that starts off, you're going to do that. You're going to go broke. You're probably going to go broke again, and you're probably going to go broke again. But knowledge is power, and as you get older, more mature, and you keep that 2100 to the Sunday, and you put it all on the Eagles to beat the Cowboys, and then you go home, and that's what you do.
So Jason just introduced us to exactly what you do, right? What I said, there are sucker bets, and then there's bets you take, and there's bets you don't take. All right. Now we have a ticket scrolling across. It got Miami over unders. It has Miami over 8 wins, minus 215. Then it says Miami over 10 wins, plus 225. Tua over 20.5 touchdowns. These are season-long bets. Tyreek Hill over under 1,025.5 yards receiving, and Jalen Waddle over 5.5 touchdowns. Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen.
Before you think, I'm a complete novice when it comes to betting.
Yeah.
Explain what minus 215 means, what plus 225 means, because to me they are literally just numbers. I don't know if I put £10 on that, how much I get back. So for someone who is a complete novice, can you just explain what these numbers actually mean?
Hey, Jason, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So that was American odds. So we've got any UK listeners. So plus 225 would be 9-4 in English money. Minus 215 is just a bit worse than 1-2. And basically, the easiest way to work it out is if it's a minus number, you need to have that amount on to win $100. So minus 215. If you put $215 on it, your profit will be 100. So you'd get 315 back. If it's a plus number, say put $100 on a plus 225, that's what you win. So a plus number is what you win if you put $100 on, and a minus number is how much you need to put on to win $100. I think that's probably the easiest way to explain it.
Listen, hey, peek behind the camera. I told Kadeem, hey, no math questions when we record today. I said no math questions, right? Like obviously, yeah, we could get it. You got to know your money. You got to know what you're doing. Got to know what everything means. So yeah, man. That's a great question for the listeners, Kadeem. So if you could pull up that first picture, Kadeem, that I sent you over, and for all the audio listeners, you know what I'm saying, y'all got to make it to YouTube and see what's going on with these bets. So on the screen here, we have what type of bet is this? Jason, it's multiple teams on it. And I think this is a special maybe.
Yeah, these are just team specials we do. So every team will have it. There we go. Scroll in. Yeah. So these are basically to make playoff parlays. So for obvious reasons on site, you can't combine them from a straight market. So we have to make a load ourselves basically. So these are the ones we've come up with. What I came up with, just put a load together, and it's pretty much a straight parlay. There is some correlation, negative correlation. So, for example, if you're picking two teams from the same division, one team's going to have less of a chance if the other team makes it. So there is a bit of that goes into the price. But most of these are just straight parlays, like Dolphins and Vikings both to make the playoffs. That in different conferences, that would just be a straight parlay of there to make playoff price.
All right. So I'm glad you brought that down, Jason. So a straight bet for all the novices, for all the Kadeems out there, a straight bet is a one team. It's the Dolphins versus the Patriots. That's it, right? And you put money on that. That's a straight bet. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jason.
No, that's right. Yeah.
All right. A parlay is where you have multiple games on one ticket. So if you have, let's go with the first week of the season. The Dolphins have the Patriots, and you have the Bills versus the Rams on the same ticket, and then you have the Seahawks versus the Broncos on the same ticket. That is called a parlay. All right. Not only is it called a parlay, that's a 3-leg parlay. Jason, you want to check me off on that?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, once again, for the English listeners, it'll probably be known as an accumulator. English listeners will probably know it as that. But yes, in the States, it's a parlay. In England, it's an accumulator. And yeah, you can have as many legs from 2 to as many as you want.
Man, Jason, I forgot. So I was in London in October that just passed. And I went to one of your you guys' I don't know, it's like a shop where you could just gamble. It's nothing. We don't have nothing like that over here. And I seen Accumulator, and I seen the different vernacular that you guys use. So I'm glad we have you on the show today, so you can break it down for our London listeners, our English listeners. So appreciate you for that. So what this special is that we have up on the screen, I highlighted a couple of these bets, and one of them is the Miami Dolphins and the Vikings both make the playoffs. Plus 370 odds. So $1,000 on that brings back 4,700. Don't take this bet. All right. There's another bet that's highlighted. It's Miami Dolphins, Eagles, and Rams make the playoffs. For everyone saying, hey, I like the Dolphins to make the playoffs this year. I like the Rams to make the playoffs this year. Yo, first of all, I might like it too, but these are season-long bets. All right. There's a difference in just betting week to week. And then you have this, which is a parlay for the whole season where anyone can get hurt and bang up your ticket. And you put your hard-earned money into a parlay, not even a parlay. This is a special where the Eagles are involved. Where you got to depend on who knows who's playing over there at the time, right? So you don't want to, in my opinion, it is not wise to take these kind of bets. All right. So yeah, does it look better with your odds? For example, I put one on here that looked really good. Plus 450. Miami makes the playoffs and the Saints make the playoffs. $1,000 on that, bring back $5,500. Yeah, it looks really good. But I'm telling you, it's not as safe. Now, if you have it to where you want to, you know what? I like this. I want to put 100 on it. Oh, you know what? I like this. I want to put 200 on it. That's cool. But just know the safest bets are a straight bet. Try to find one bet that you say, you know what I call a bullseye. This is the bullseye. Not only that, we're going to change it up. And this year, we're going to call it the easy money bet, right? It's going to be the easy money bet of the week. Every week in the Miami Dolphins season, we will find you guys a Miami Dolphin bet. Whether it's a player prop or if it's just a over-under, we're going to find you guys a Miami Dolphin bet. That's the easy money bet of the week. One bet, and that's the bet we're going to bet on. So you can bring this down, Kadeem. Any pointers you got for us so far, Jason?
No, I mean, to all the people who are bettors out there that are looking for putting some money on some season-long bets, as Charlie said, look for that one that you like. Don't look for the extravagant odds. If you think Dolphins are going to make the playoffs, I think you can get plus 140 that they can make the playoffs. I mean, just have that. Don't complicate it. I mean, I'm guessing you're Miami Dolphins fans who are listening. You know the team, and knowledge is power. I'll say that again. Knowing a team inside out is so valuable when you're betting, and don't make things hard for yourself. I've got a bundle of seasonal bets, probably too many, but I haven't got any accumulators. They're all single bets, and I like them all. That it's like the stock market. If you make something X price and you can bet it at bigger, then do it. But you've always got to be getting value, or you're just going to lose.
Hey, Kadeem, can you pull up that third image, not the second one?
Yeah,
we're going to skip the second one.
Very quickly as I bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I don't place bets. You know, being in the UK, I have so many friends, so many people on social media who do, again, what the UK, betting market will call accumulators. So, it's a Friday night. There's a football Premier League game on a Friday night, and they'll have 12 games on this ticket on their accumulator. Man United to beat Brentford, which often didn't happen. Crystal Palace to beat so-and-so, 12 different games. And because I don't bet, I don't gamble, for me, there's nothing funnier when you've got this 12 ticket bet basically, and it's Friday night, and the first team loses, they're like, that's it. The entire bet is done. You didn't even make it to Saturday. It's Friday night, first game, done. To me, I find it hilarious. The thing that hurts the most is when, again, 10-team accumulator, and you're down to the 10th game, and you got 9 out of 9. And it's like, okay, this one game, what do I do? Do I cash out? Do I stick? Jason, in that situation, what would your advice be? Working for DraftKings, you've got one game left. Do you cash out, or do you say, do you know what? I've got nothing to lose. I'm gonna wait.
Before you answer that, Jason,
Yeah.
So what Kadeem is saying is, this for our novice listeners, you can have what Kadeem just described as a 10-leg parlay, and 9 of the 10 hit so far. And you're about the last game is about to start. And what usually happens is you can settle, basically, for lack of better terminology. You can, let's say you can win $1,000 on this ticket that you probably just put $20 on, right? And you could win $1,000 if the whole ticket hits. Usually on DraftKings, they might say, hey, would you like $500 so we don't have to pay you the rest? You see what I'm saying? So go ahead, Jason. You can answer the question now.
Yeah, so that's exactly it. I mean, it all depends on your situation. Cash out is a massive con, really. Bookmakers charge around 15% on a cash out. So if you cash out, you're losing value on the bet. But we all do it. We all love that sort of £20, $20 accumulator or parlay where we've got 10 legs rolling up to win 20,000 or whatever. And if you're having $20 parlays and you're getting offered $2,000 because the first 9 have won, the most likely scenario is that $2,000 is going to mean something to you. So while you're giving away value, it really is situational. So I've cashed out of bets. Well, no, I'm giving away value, but the money I can get is worthwhile me doing that. So, I mean, there's plenty of opportunities to save cashing out. So save that 15% that the bookmakers take. You can just go and back the other side. If you're betting on the spread, for example, say Miami -2.5 at your last leg, you can go back Patriots at +2.5 to cover your bet. So there are ways around the cash out. Just look to bet the other side, because then you're not giving away the extra juice that they take for you cashing out, basically.
Right. So what Jason just described is what some call a hedge.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So again, there's a lot of different terminology for everyone listening. Hey, the best thing, if you're going to start off, bet one bet at a time.
Yeah.
Take the bet that I like and just take that, see what happens. All right. And then keep listening to Go Time Dolphins, and Charlie Touche will give you some more pointers. But that's hedging. Kadeem hit a soft spot for everyone listening that knows what they're doing. Kadeem said, hey, if you lose the first game, you could sleep well for the rest of the weekend. The bad part is when you're on that 10th game or that 9th game, and the 9th game goes to overtime, and you're like, your heart is beating, and it's just not safe to watch. It is unhealthy because you're like, yo, I just put $20 on this. But and let's be real, sometimes I just put $200 on this ticket, and it's gonna pay out, let's just say, $8,000 off of this $200, right? And you're like, yo, my heart's beating. Mahomes just threw a pick. What is going on here? And you win. Now you got one more game left. And in that game, a lot of times, I hate to say it, that's the game that takes you out. Like, we blew it. So now you went through the entire weekend, all these parlays that began on Thursday Night Football, and you get to Monday Night Football just to lose to a field goal, right? So that hurts a lot. And it's just, I'm telling you, it could become addictive. It could be very unhealthy mentally and physically, if I'm being honest with you. But you about to bring something up, Kadeem?
Yeah, of course. And again, that's why I can't bet, because if I lose a bet because I don't know, I'm not even going to say like Justin Tucker, who is a clutch kicker in the NFL. Justin Tucker decides today is the day when he's going to miss a 30-yard chip shot. I'm not a violent person, yeah, and I don't believe in sending violence over social media. But if I ever meet Justin Tucker in person, just know I'm breaking his leg. I have to.
Chill out. Hey, listen, hey.
No. I've missed out on 10 grand. No, again, that's why I don't bet, because I don't have to break someone's leg. I think that's fair.
Condone violence on Go Time Dolphins.
I do not condone violence either, but I just lost out on 10 grand because of a kicker.
Listen, I'm gonna be real with you. 2000, I want to say 2012. For everyone, I don't know who remembers Andrew Luck in 2012 and how many games they're pulling out in the last second of their games. Bro, I done lost so much money on Andrew Luck. I'm just done betting against this man. I'm done. So yeah, man, you can get to where you don't trust people no more. You don't trust a certain player. You don't trust a certain team. Then you could get to where a point where it's like, yo, I dislike this player. And is it their fault or is it your fault? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I try not to get too invested anymore. I do, however, like to not bet on the NFC East no more. NFC East out the window for me. I don't bet on NFC East. Like all of those teams are done. Like if you're in, all right, Go Time Dolphins. Let's get back to it. So Kadeem just pulled up a picture, an image, and it says Miami Dolphins special, where Miami Dolphins finishing position within the division. And again, here's some more odds. Do they finish first and you get plus 450 odds? Do they finish second and you get plus 165 odds? Do they finish third and you get 190 odds? Or do they finish fourth and you get plus 500 odds? All right. Now, here's another bet that I would ask people to stay away from. Oh, well, the Bills are Super Bowl favorites, but the Dolphins, I think we're going to be better than the Jets and better than the Patriots and all that good stuff. But then again, it's a season-long bet. In my opinion, I actually believe the Dolphins can split with the Bills this year. I would not bet on that, by the way, but I do think the Dolphins could give the Bills a run for their money. However, I'm on the record saying I do believe the Bills will win the division. I do believe the Dolphins will make the playoffs. So what I won't do is bet on that. All right. So this, to me, again, is a bad bet for you guys to take. I just wanted to bring it up. Let's go to the next one, Kadeem. And I'll keep it rolling while you're doing your thing. Any pointers so far for us, Jason?
Yeah, it's just going to that division one. So basically how we price is we have a model that we put team ratings into, and it basically simulates a season. So I'm always conscious when I do the AFC East Miami props that I'm not too much of a fan and weight them too heavily, rate them too high. But I actually make us a slight bet to win the division at plus 450. I make the true odds around plus 400. Now, we're plus 450 on DraftKings because we've got a huge liability on Buffalo to win the division. So you'll probably notice that we are shortest price in the industry for Buffalo to win the division. And then we're bigger on Dolphins, Pats and Jets. But I do think the plus 450 is slight value. I make Miami a bit of a higher percentage to win the division than that. So I've bet it myself. It's a marginal bet. It's very marginal. But I do think the true odds should be around plus 400. So I think you're getting around 50 cents better off than you should be.
So Kadeem brought this up on a podcast a couple episodes ago. He said, if I won the lottery, someone hit for $1 billion or a couple billion over here in the States. I can't remember. And I said, hey, I'm not really a lotto guy. I don't mind the lotto. I don't mind people who play it. Like I can understand playing the lotto. I just never became a lotto guy. All right. So in essence, a parlay, if I put $20 on an 8-leg parlay, it's almost like playing the lotto, except I kind of know what should happen in this parlay, and I kind of feel better about it. Like, look, these teams, I believe, should pull this off. It's $20. It's not a lotto ticket, but it's like I feel better about it. All right. So, yeah, when I say you don't want to bet parlays, listen, you get to a point, and we talked about maturity, where you become more educated. Would I spend over a certain dollar amount on a parlay? Absolutely not. Unless it was like a vacation thing and I allocated money just for that. But if it's the safer bets, it's not in the parlays. So this bet that we have pulled up here on the screen for all our audio listeners, this is a series bet. And in this particular series bet, it is Miami versus the Patriots. So the odds in this bet would be, it says series tied is minus 110. That's 1-1 if we split the series. New England plus 290 if New England beats us twice and you bet on it. Either game in the series is tied. If we tie with New England and you put $100 on that, that's plus 2,500. And what I am comfortable taking is Miami 2-0 versus New England plus 260, and here's why. 2 is undefeated against Bill Belichick. True story. This is a fact. The opening game of the season is against the Patriots. I am not tipping my hand, but the money line bet, and I'll tell you guys what a money line is. The money line of that game is such in the Dolphins' favor that when you add the second game of this series, it's like plus 260. I kind of like this now. So I'm comfortable with the Dolphins beating the Patriots in week 1. All right. Now the second game of this series is, I think, week 17 or week 18. Excuse me. Could be somewhere between week 16, 17, or 18. I am not sure. Fact check, stat check. I think he's going to tell us what week we play the Patriots in. That being said, again, injuries, you don't know. However, this is a lot safer. Us as Dolphin fans, we know how we've been playing the Patriots the past 2 years. We know how the Patriots have been playing us the past 2 seasons, and we kind of have a trajectory. Like, excuse me. I like the idea of Miami beating the Patriots twice. So give me the odds at 260. I'm putting a ban on this, and I'm gonna bring back 3,600. Kadeem, did you fact check that?
Yeah, it's the penultimate game of the season, so week 17, I believe.
Week 17. Yeah. What you got about that, Jason?
You can I really enjoyed pricing these markets. DraftKings is the only firm that are exclusive to us, and I priced all those. And so Miami week 1 on the money line are minus 140. So 8-11 to the English listeners. So that I think Miami and New England have been rated the same pretty much by most firms. But I make Miami slight favourites over New England. Obviously, the first game's at home. In the reverse fixture, I'd imagine that New England are going to be around minus 125 money line. So I think the price is right. But as you said, you've got the way that we played New England, the better roster. I think New England haven't got better this off season. One of my biggest bets last season was week 1, Miami to beat New England. And I mean, X made sure that we got that done. But I just think that the way I don't know whether it was a Flores effect, and that's my only worry about it. If it was a Flores effect, why we beat New England, whether Mike McDaniel can do that. Belichick's got a very good record against rookie head coaches, so that would be my worry. But I mean, week one, I think we do it. I think that -140 week one is a good bet.
This guy just tooted his own horn, but you could toot your own horn as much as you want on this podcast. This guy said, I enjoy pressing this market. Listen, I'm going to be real with you. I feel real safe about that bet. And if I allocated a certain amount of money on the season, like, hey, Charles, I'm only going to bet X amount of dollars this season, just know a lot of that money would go on that bet. And that's just me. We'll find better bets for you guys, but we're going to end with this one right here. And it is Coach of the Year and the odds on Coach McDaniel winning Coach of the Year. For all the Dolphin fans that believe the Dolphins can make the playoffs this year, I gotta imagine if the Dolphins make the playoffs this year, the national media, they just don't believe in Tua. They don't. Tua's not it, and it is split. It's not even split. It's kind of, in my opinion, it's 30-70, 70 against and 34 when it comes to national media and the Miami Dolphins and Tua as our quarterback. On the other hand, with me, I believe in Tua. I believe in Coach McDaniel. I'm not just drinking the Dolphin Kool-Aid. I legitimately believe we have a team that can make a run. What I won't do is tell you guys, take these bets, take that bet. Now, I might take a bet or two, but I wouldn't tell you to do it. On the other hand, it's like I like my chances here. Plus 1,600 odds with Coach McDaniel becoming Coach of the Year. $1,000 bring back $17,000, $17K. And I just did 1,000 just because for all the audio listeners, we have the image up of where I selected 1,000. I did not place $1,000 on this bet. I want to be very clear. In the event that the Dolphins are as successful as we think they are, or as we think they will be, Coach McDaniel will be the talk of the town. No doubt about it. So if we get past the Patriots like I think we will, the Jets like I think we will, give the Bills a run for their money, you never know what can happen during the season. Is there an injury that Buffalo has to overcome? Do the Dolphins go streaking again? We were one game away from making the playoffs last year, and we endured a 7-game losing streak. We're not losing 7 games in a row ever again while I'm alive. I can promise you that. All right. So that being said, I don't mind putting $200 on this bet, Kadeem. I don't mind putting, you know what? Let me put a couple dollars on this, throw a couple quid on it. You feel me? Like, I don't mind putting something on, putting some action, as we say, on Coach McDaniel becoming Coach of the Year. What you think, Jason?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a market where it is going to be 16 to 1 the field or plus 1,600 the field, because however good Miami may be this year, Miami could finish 13-4, win the division, be number 2 seeds. But if Detroit Lions go 11-6 and make the playoffs, has Dan Campbell made a bigger jump than Mike McDaniel?
For sure.
So, but I mean, I really like McDaniel here. He's got a really good roster. He's going to put up more points than Flores put up. It's just determining where we need to get to, and other teams need to average out for him to get that. And as you said, if we make the playoffs, I mean, if we win the division, you look at Vrabel, who won it last year. Obviously, they got number 1 seed, and that was enough for them. I mean, imagine if we got number 1 seed, it'd be very hard to not give it to McDaniel. But that's a big ask, obviously. But you're getting bigger odds here than Miami to be number 1 seed. So, yeah, I wouldn't pay anyone off this. It's something that I've had a small wager on myself. You'll be looking behind you at the teams that did look bad last year. So your Dan Campbell's, he's one that's been quite popular. But Sirianni as well. There's been a lot of hype behind the Eagles. Rookie head coaches haven't got a great record, but we can ignore that because of the roster he's taken over. Usually rookie head coaches take over a bad roster, but I mean, the talent he's got, they've kept the D together. Yeah, this would be a bet that I'd advise to take as well.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. When Jason co-signed my bets, I feel a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like I do. I feel a little bit better. Like, yo, I might know what I'm talking about just a little bit. But listen, man, we got DraftKings up here. We got all kind of bets. You could bet on awards. Who's gonna win defensive player of the year, coach of the year, special season special bets, division bets, game prop bets, team props, 2023 draft. Jason from DraftKings just came in and showed us all kind of love. Man, Jason, look, we appreciate you, bro. We had no idea that you were going to be able to add the sauce that you just added on this particular episode, man. So we appreciate you coming through, man.
Oh, no worries. It's been good fun. I'm always happy to talk about the Dolphins and gambling. So,
hey, listen, we're going to go into bonus time. Jason, come on over to bonus time with us, and we're going to break down some of the bets that you guys seen across the scroll with Tua prop bets and Tyreek Hill prop bets, Jalen Waddle prop bets. Come on over to bonus time with us. We'll chop it up, and we also talk about a giveaway that we got going on. Kadeem, you got something else?
No, just you mentioned it very briefly. When you said, Jason tooting his own horn, and I think when he said it, like we both smiled, like the way he just like casually dropped in, like, yeah, I'll fight his markets. I was like, that is like the biggest like brush of shoulders we probably had on the podcast. I was like, yeah, Jason's
there was a
that
fake
guy.
mic drop going on in here.
Yeah,
this guy, man, I love it. I like it. Hey, come on over to bonus time though, man. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons and Jason from DraftKings, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
They mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
So you mentioned it just before bonus time started. Go Time Dolphin giveaway. We currently have one that is still ongoing. It is a Javon. No, I need to say it again, but I got right this time. It's a Javon Holland fit to size jersey giveaway. All you have to do to win that jersey giveaway is to email gotimedolphins@gmail.com with your jersey size. That is it. There's no answer question. There's no, take a screenshot, spin around, do the spin of Rooney and high five yourself. No, it's literally email your jersey size to gotimedolphins@gmail.com. There was another giveaway. It's a Man 23 giveaway. That one, again, email the same email address, but it was, to be fair. What do you think the Dolphins' record in preseason was going to be? Obviously, if you were to email us now, it's a bit like, well, you kind of got the first part right because the Dolphins are going to win. If you email us now saying Dolphins are going to go 0-3, I can't help you. You clearly missed me. You got a preseason. That's on you. Last episode, I said, there might be a second copy for people who, kind of missed out on that one given the time schedule. So I think it's only fair, because I'm a nice person, that I'll do another giveaway. Go Time Dolphins will do another giveaway. So stay tuned to the preview show of that one. My words. Stay tuned to the Vegas preview show to find out how to win another copy of Madden 23. On this episode, Charlie, we got some more prop bets, or some more bets, I guess, in general. Talk us through them. And
Vegas Raiders preview show, since we're talking about Vegas and we don't want to confuse nobody.
Yeah.
So look, I want to be very clear. We shot a whole bunch of bets. It might be bet overload for people driving and listening on the way to work. Like, man, so which one should I take? Which one shouldn't I take? I'm gonna go with the Dolphins defeat the Patriots twice this season. I'm gonna put some money on that. But we got these bets scrolling across the bottom again. I like this alternative over, which is minus 215. Miami over 8 wins. Bro, there's people out here, it's pundits out here that don't believe the Dolphins are going to have 8 wins, bro. They really like, I don't know about Tua. All right, bro, pump the brakes, man. Tua's fine. So I want to break something down, though. Tyreek Hill, his over is on receiving yards is 1,025.5. All right. Here's what I think will happen with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You're going to have it to where I believe, I would not bet on this, by the way. I believe Tyreek Hill will go over 1,000 and Jalen Waddle will also go over 1,000. However, neither one will have over 100 receptions. Hear me out. It's distribution. You got Cedric Wilson chipping away on Waddle's receptions. I don't believe Tyreek Hill has anything to do with Waddle's production. Tyreek Hill is going to be Tyreek Hill. He's a 1. Had we not had a 1, it'll just be all Waddle all over again. But Cedric Wilson is good enough to warrant slot receptions as well. So we're going to see Waddle in the slot as well as Waddle on the outside. So I don't think Waddle gets 100 receptions again. However, I do think he'll get 1,000 yards this year. Again, I think Tyreek Hill will also get 1,000 yards this year. So that over for Tyreek Hill of 1,025.5, I'll take that. I don't like it. I'm not like, I'm not running to the counter to take this bet though. But I do believe 2 receivers from the Dolphins will have 1,000 yards. Jalen Waddle, 5.5 touchdowns. I think it's also, I'm not sure. I think Tyreek Hill is 8.5 touchdowns and Waddle is 5.5 touchdowns. I can't remember. I had it written down, my fault. I'm not taking any over unders on touchdowns for running backs or receivers in this offense. I want to see it. And ultimately, we want to go to the Super Bowl, not just the playoffs. So it's not about the stats. But since we're talking about betting, I'm going to stay away from the over-under on the touchdowns. But I do think the Dolphins have 2 receivers that have over 1,000 yards. I may not necessarily bet on it, but where they have Tyreek Hill at 1,000 yards, 1,025.5, I think that's pretty good. What you got, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, as they're doing this offense, pricing where the yards are going to be has been really difficult because no one knows how the running back's going to get used. No one knows Gesicki's usage, how he'll be just distributed and put in. I mean, I thought when we got Hill and Waddle that it would open it up for Gesicki, get him in against the linebackers, get him matched up, and he'll just keep balling. But they seem quite low on Gesicki. They seem to like Smythe being in there for his blocking ability. Izukanama, he's obviously playing well. He could get some targets as well. Wilson will get targets because he'll be open a lot because how a team's going to cover against Hill and Waddle. It's been really tough to do, and I think you are dead right. You need to wait and see how they do distribute it, where they do roll out Tyreek, where they do roll out Waddle, whether they take the underneath throws. And obviously, coming from that Sam Fan offense, Mostert's going to get targets as well. Edmonds will get targets. So it's going to be a big distribution. But one thing we know is Tyreek Hill has moaned in the past about target share. So I think being the player he is and how he's addressed himself this offseason and how he's come in and been really, really good for the team in terms of bigging up Tua, bigging up McDaniel, I think he will get his good share that he will want. So it'll be interesting to see. I've got Hill slightly over Waddle in terms of receiving yards. But, I mean, they will both get close to 1,000, no doubt about that.
Again, when a DraftKings specialist co-sign you, like you gotta feel a little bit better about yourself. But listen, man, Jason, I can't.
Sorry, very quickly. Isn't he just like co-signing you because you're basically talking about his market? Like he done this all, so that's the reason why he's co-signing you. It's like, yeah, you're basically, if anything, you're co-signing him.
I'm just saying.
I want you two to be confused about. I want that 1,025 to be. I don't know which way to go. That's my job. If you don't know which way to go over that line, then I've done my job right.
And that's what's up, man. Listen, this has been a blast, and just know this again. Before the season starts, I'm gonna have a live ticket where I show you guys exactly what I bet, so you guys know I put my money where my mouth is, and I don't just talk. And I'm gonna show you a couple bets that I'm going in to the season with, so everyone can follow along with me. And again, every single week we're gonna have an easy money segment every week during the regular season. Tell you what bets to stay away from, and tell you what bets to take. And don't let Jason trap you with how close these lines are. But hey, I appreciate you for coming on the show again, Jason, bro. y'all just heard the alarm. That means Charlie Touche got to get to work, man.
It's been great, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jason.
Oopsie.